Are you craving pizza, but you're on a calorie budget? You need to watch this episode. It is so good. Hi, and welcome to Lunch with Lisa. And today, I'm gonna show you how to make sourdough discard flatbread. And then we're gonna make it into a pizza. It's Lunch with Lisa. So I'm deep into counting macros lately, and I've been craving pizza. So I've been making this sourdough flatbread pizza. And I showed you how to make sourdough bread. So what do you do with all the discard? There's going to be discard. It's just inevitable. When you make sourdough bread and you feed your starter, you're going to have a lot of discard. So you got to use it up somehow. And this is one great way to use a whole cup of that discard. And it's super easy to make and it comes together really quickly. So let's get started. For this recipe, you're going to need some all-purpose flour, baking soda, kosher salt, your sourdough starter, yogurt, olive oil, and if you're making a pizza, you're going to need some shredded cheese, some pepperoni. I use turkey pepperoni because it's low in fat, and some pizza sauce like this Rayo's, or you can make your own pizza sauce. You also need a bowl to mix things in. A little shower cap will come in handy here, and a cast iron skillet, or if you don't have one, just a heavy bottom skillet will do. And I'm gonna be using my air fryer to cook the pizza once it's all done. So excited, I'm hungry. Because I'm tracking my macros and I want everything to be pretty accurate, I'm gonna be using my food scale. You can find a food scale down below in my Amazon store. So I want 2 cups or 240 grams of all-purpose flour. Then I'm gonna mix my flour with 1 teaspoon of the baking powder and 1 teaspoon of kosher salt. I'm just gonna whisk that all together so it's nice and combined. Then once I have that all combined, I'm going to add my starter. While we add the discard, we're also going to add half a cup of yogurt. Now I'm gonna add 1 tablespoon of olive oil. Now we're just gonna stir this all together. And when it gets hard to stir with a spoon, I like to dig in with my hands. Just squeeze it, a little pinching action. Watch out, don't let it fly all over the place. Just squeeze the dough, mix it together. Eventually it'll stop sticking to your hands, so don't worry about that. You're trying to force all the flour to incorporate into this dough. Don't be tempted to add any liquid. Eventually it all comes together. So once you've got it all mixed, you can take it out of your bowl and start kneading it. You're just gonna fold it on top of itself and push down with the heel of your hand and then turn it 90 degrees each time you go to fold it again. And you're gonna do this until it's nice and smooth. Probably about 5 minutes. It's not gonna be totally smooth at this point, so we're gonna let it rest for about 30 minutes. And this is where that nifty shower cap comes in handy. Just stick it right on top so it doesn't dry out, and I'll be back in 30 minutes and we're gonna roll this out. All right, now I'm going to take my dough ball and I'm going to measure it and then divide that by 8 so I can get 8 equal pizzas. You can divide this up as big or as small as you want to. So 670 grams divided by 8 is 83.75. I'm going to roughly cut this up. You can use a knife, or if you have a dough scraper, you can use that. So we're looking for about 83 to 84 grams. Okay, so now we have 84 gram balls. I'm gonna stick them on a plate and cover them so they don't dry out while I am rolling them out. While I'm doing this, I'm also going to turn on my burner to high. You want to cook this on high heat on your cast iron skillet or your heavy bottom pan. You want the flatbread to get nice and crisp, and it's gonna cook really fast in just a couple minutes. I'm just gonna reach under my shower cap and grab one of these. I'm just going to flatten it out with my hand first. You shouldn't need to put any flour down. This shouldn't stick to your table. Just gonna keep picking it up, rolling it out. Till it's about 1/4 of an inch thick or a little bit thinner, but no thicker than 1/4 of an inch. You don't want it too thick. And if it shrinks back up on you right away, you can go ahead and let it rest. But as you can see, it is rolling out nicely. And for pizza, you can make it as thin or as thick as you want. Just try to get it less, or about 1/4 of an inch or so. And it doesn't have to be perfectly round. Flatbread is not normally super perfectly round. This feels like I'm rolling them out to like 1/8 of an inch thick. They will puff up a little bit in the pan. And while my pan's getting hot, I'm just gonna roll a couple more out. So I'm gonna grab some olive oil and my little pastry brush. I'm just going to brush a light coating of olive oil on one side. Then I'm gonna place this olive oil side down in my pan. And I cook that for 2 to 3 minutes. And while that one's cooking, I can continue rolling these out. Just wanna lift it up and see if it's gotten, yes, nice and crispy. Just gonna cook it for 1 more minute on this side. Look at that. Yum. Smells so good, and look, it's perfect for a pizza. All right, I finished all my flatbreads. Look at these.
Quick tip.
And these are the ones I made previously. I just stuck them in the freezer to keep them long-term and put sheets of parchment in between them so they didn't stick together. And then when I was ready to use them, I just thawed them out. Super easy. And they will keep for a long time in the freezer.
That was a quick tip.
All right, so I have my air fryer warming up to the hottest setting because we're just gonna quickly cook our pizza. So I'm gonna take one of these and I have all my ingredients here to make my pizza. You could do pizza night with the family and lay out all the ingredients and everyone could make their own personal pizza. So this personal pizza is only gonna be about 366 calories. That's 38 grams of carbs, 14 grams of fat, and 22 grams of protein. How awesome is that? So I have 30 grams here of Rayo's pizza sauce. I'm gonna put that down first and spread it out. With just the Rayo's and the cheese, it's about 300 calories. You could add whatever toppings that you want. I'm gonna go ahead and put 1 serving of turkey pepperoni on here to keep it lower in fat than regular pepperoni. So that's about 15 slices or 30 grams. And then 30 grams of cheese. So 30, 30, and 30. And then I picked some basil from my garden. Needs to be watered. It's kind of limp. Can't use it when it's so limp. That's what he said. So I'm gonna put this on, but after it comes out of the oven. Okay, so I have everything layered up. I'm just gonna slide it into my air fryer. It's gonna cook for 10 minutes until the cheese is nice and melty and the crust is nice and crispy. It stayed in the oven for about 6 to 7 minutes and it got nice and crispy. It just depends on how many toppings you have on it. And I'm gonna sprinkle on some basil. Then I wanna cut this, or you can just eat it whole, however you wanna do it, right? You cut it into smaller pieces. It's like you're eating more. It takes you longer to eat. And then of course you can't forget the red pepper flake. Look at that. Okay, pizza's cooled off a little bit now. Let's taste it. This hits the pizza spot so much, you guys. You definitely need to try this recipe out. Leave a comment below what your favorite pizza toppings are. I want to know so I can make some different pizzas. If you like what you see and you want to help support me, there's 3 ways you can do it. You can go shopping on my Amazon store. Just follow the link down below and go shopping on Amazon. Buy anything in the next 24 hours and I'll receive a small commission. Or you could buy me a coffee at coffee.com/lunchwithlisa. Or you could become a patron like all these lovely people. And you could watch my videos a week ahead of time. Patreon.com/lunchwithlisa. And it's always free to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you in my next video. It's Lunch with Lisa. I swear, this pizza hits the spot.